Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is thefloridahd, and today we will be discussing Grayzone 0.5 and changes I think that need to happen, and not only me, but you as well. In my last Grayzone 0.5 video, I asked you guys to tell me the changes that you wanted to see happen in 0.5, and man, you guys absolutely delivered. Almost 200 comments. 200, that's way more than I ever expected, and that is awesome. I'm glad to see it, and it gave me a ton to think about and things to discuss today. Now, I also posted a poll here on YouTube, and we'll be going over the results of that. About 20-ish of you or so did answer in that poll, and I asked what were the biggest changes y'all wanted to see in 0.5, and I thought that was interesting as well. So we'll be including that in today's discussion. Now, kind of to elaborate, in my last video, I'd mentioned that cooldown timers was something that I thought needed to be adjusted. And I mentioned that 30 minutes was too long and it should be somewhere closer to around 5 to 10 minutes. And a lot of you seem to disagree with me on that aspect. And I also, from this, realized that a ton of you are mostly PvE oriented when it comes to Grayzone and kind of less on the PvP side. And I think the player base as a whole has kind of come to this consensus. So anyways, cooldown timers. Not only do I think they should have been shorter, but that was only if cooldown timers are going to be a permanent solution, which technically we don't really know. I think they probably are going to stay, and if they do stay at 30 minutes, I think one thing that really needs to be implemented here to change the focus from PvP on strictly being on the cops is to introduce like more PvP world events, like airdrops, maybe like crashed helicopters, stuff like that. I think that would help in general to kind of draw the PvP away from strictly cops. Now, why do I think the timer should be 5 to 10 minutes? I noticed that when they were increased to 30, the PvP got spread out more across the open world. But I also noticed that PvP was also happening in big points of interest and quest areas more often. Now, I'm not saying the old cop system was perfect before they introduced the cooldown timers, but I noticed that PvP, like if you wanted to PvP, you could go look for it and you could have it, and those guys who loved it could just have at it. And the people who like PvE could just go in quests, basically in peace. But I kind of noticed with the longer timers that PvP is happening in those areas now. And I wanted to know how the more PvE friendly players were feeling about that. Ultimately, the easiest fix for PvP would be, like we mentioned, more PvP world events. I'm talking like crashed helicopters with cool loot there that maybe gets marked on the map and then players want to go fight over. Maybe there's a timer on it before it disappears. Airdrops, stuff like that, I think would really help the current PvP system. Now I want to go over the poll that I took here on YouTube, and the biggest change that y'all wanted to see was AI fixes and adjustments. Now this I kind of agree with, but I just do want to mention that from 0.1 to now, the AI has drastically gotten better. I mean, it was so bad in the beginning, and now it is definitely a lot more like tangible. I think the biggest change that we need to see with AI is basically they only have this vision-based movement. If they see you, they'll basically stare in that direction that you are at and just kind of walk like forwards and backwards sometimes, just staring at the last position that they saw you. They don't really think. They don't really move around. They don't think to themselves like, oh, he went that way, I should walk that way. They will kind of stand stationary and look at the exact last spot that they saw you. And this basically allows you as the player to flank around to each side almost consistently, back and forth if you wanted, just getting easy headshots on the AI. I think the best way to fix this would just make them slightly more aggressive, at least in terms of their movement. I've never really had them like rush me or push me down or try to flank me myself. I think with just a couple of those tweaks, the AI would be in a lot better place. I don't really think they're laser beams like they used to be in 0.1, where they would just kind of 360 no scope spin and get you from like 200 meters. Like that really doesn't happen anymore, and I think that's in a good place. It's mostly just the other things. The second most voted thing for in the poll was Ground Zero, and I think everyone just wants to see a piece of it and to learn a little bit more about it.
Let me in! Let me in!
It's kind of turned into this giant cliffhanger. Like, what is in there? What is it about? And what is everybody so afraid of? I mean, you see the roadside picnic books in the game. You know the CEO is a huge Stalker fan. Like, we just really want to know where this story is going. Now, they can expand on this either through quest chains that lead us into Ground Zero, maybe items that we find in world, things that we read that help explain what's going on there, any of that would be awesome to see in 0.5. As far as what Ground Zero actually looks like, I really have no idea. If we take a look at the map, it's just a large section just covered with trees. Now, obviously this could change and develop over time with buildings on the surface, but I kind of feel like they're going for a reserve kind of vibe, the map from Escape from Tarkov, where you have a military complex on top and this kind of massive underground system, bunker system almost underneath. Now, I'm not saying this would be the perfect layout for Ground Zero. That's just kind of what I feel like they're going to end up going for. Now, the next two things that got voted for on the poll was PvP changes and better anti-cheat. We've already discussed PvP changes earlier, and that's pretty much all the thoughts I had on it, but I think I will address the anti-cheat issue because that's kind of a hot topic right now. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Like, I've seen the video, I've seen the drama, I've seen like all the speculation going around, and honestly, I'm not really that worried about it. And specifically, like, I'm not going to name the guy's name, but in the video, you see like a pretty bad thing of cheating going on. And this guy's recording it, and like there's a lot of drama about it. And I just wanted to say, like, I myself have never encountered a game like that. I have never had cheating to that degree happen to me. I do know it is an issue, but I also do know it is an issue in every single game. Like, I came from Tarkov. I remember the GOAT situation. Cheating is always going to be an issue. Do I think it's important that the developers take care of it? Yes. Yes, I do. Do I think Grayzone needs better anti-cheat in general? Yes, I do. I think the easiest solution for this would honestly be private servers. If players somehow had the ability to host private servers and admin their own servers, that would take a lot of responsibility off of Madfinger. And I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen, but with how impossibly hard cheating is with video games to fix, I do feel like that would be the easiest way to handle it, at least to a degree. And as far as anti-cheat goes, that's pretty much all I have to say on the subject. One other thing I did want to talk about was, it's kind of PvP related, but it's also like gameplay related, was being able to loot your dead body. Like, the first time you die, being able to go out, run out, and loot it. I honestly think, and this is going to be a hot topic, I honestly think we should not be able to loot our dead body.
Oh my God. Get him the fuck out of here. Get him the, please. Black, get him the fuck.
Now, I know that's probably going to trigger a lot of people, but I think if that was actually implemented, it would actually fix a lot of the current PvP problems that exist in the game. It would make cops a lot less heavily contested. People would not consistently run back for their bodies, especially if they know there's good players there just constantly wasting people. I think it would make your lives a lot more valuable. I think it would make people play a lot more stealthy. It would be a lot less forgiving, but I think in the end it would help balance gameplay a little bit. And I'm kind of curious to see how you guys feel about that one, and I wish you would let me know in the comments. And just like my last video, guys, please let me know how you feel about any of these changes. Please let me know what you want to see in Grayzone 0.5. I want you to tell me my ideas are stupid. I want you to tell me my ideas are dumb. I want to know how you feel. I want to know what you think needs to be added to this game. I love debating about it. I love talking about it. I can take it, and I encourage this 100%. Also, in my last video, I mentioned that I came from Escape from Tarkov, and I know a lot of you were like, oh God, I don't need a Tarkov person ruining my game, especially if he has any connection with the developers of Grayzone. And I just wanted to say I completely understand. I myself have a strict love-hate relationship with that game, and I'm even madder about how the development of that game went over time. So, kind of more about myself. Tarkov wasn't my first gaming experience. I'm kind of old. I'm 33 years old. I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran from 2011 to 2015. I first played games when I was about 9 or 10, well, PC games specifically, when my cousin came over to my grandmother's house lugging his giant white PC in, and he showed me what this game called Delta Force was. And from that point on, I never looked at my PS2 the same. It went from Delta Force to Rainbow Six to Operation Flashpoint to Arma 2 to Arma 3 to Arma Reforger, what we have now, the console Operation Flashpoints, Red River, and Dragon Rising. If there is a milsim that you can think of, I have probably played it and enjoyed it, every single bit of it. But I try to tell people that's not really all my opinion offers. One thing that I feel like I'm pretty good at is telling when a game is just way too realistic, way too milsim, to where you'll have no player base and nothing but a niche community, and a game with actual good gameplay. It is a very hard balance to balance realism and good gameplay, and no game can really seem to do it right. And that is one of my biggest issues with the extraction and milsim genre as a whole. And with that, guys, that pretty much sums up all my thoughts on what Grayzone needs to see, the changes that need to happen. And I appreciate all of your guys' comments and opinions. Please keep them coming and let me know in this video. And please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.